I was the last one in the staff room that night when I heard her voice in the empty hallway. Good night, Mr. Kofi. I froze. I had just seen Madame Abeni leaving 20 minutes ago. I watched her step into a taxi with my own eyes. So, how was she here? Madame Abeni was the most beautiful woman I have ever seen. She was new in our village school and everyone loved her. The students listened when she spoke. The teachers smiled when she passed. Even the headmaster, a strict old man, was kinder when she was around. But something about her was strange. She never ate at school, no matter how long the day was. When others were drinking water in the afternoon heat, her bottle stayed full. Her clothes were always spotless, even when she walked through the dust, and her eyes, deep, dark, and unblinking, felt too heavy when they landed on you. Still, I never thought much of it, not until that night. I was marking papers alone when I heard footsteps outside. Everyone had gone home. I peered into the hallway. That was when I saw her. She stood at the end of the corridor, watching me. Good night, Mr. Kofi, she said again, but her mouth didn't move. The air became thick, pressing against my skin. My chest tightened. Something was wrong, deeply wrong. Good night, madam, I whispered, forcing my voice to be steady. She didn't reply. She only tilted her head slowly and unnatural, like a broken puppet. I grabbed my bag and turned away. That was when I heard it, barefoot slapping against the floor, fast, coming up straight at me. I ran. I don't remember reaching the door. I don't remember unlocking my bicycle. All I remember is pedaling like my life depended on it because maybe it did. The next day, Madame Abeni was in the classroom smiling as if nothing happened. But when I looked at her feet, my stomach turned. Her shoes were spotless as always, but I could see the dust on her ankle and the red footprint leading to her desk. After that night, I couldn't stop watching her. It wasn't just fear, it was something deeper, a feeling I couldn't explain. She was hiding something, I was sure of it. Then one evening, I followed her. She always left school at exactly 6 p.m. Walking down the same dusty road that day, I stayed far behind, my heart pounding with every step. She moved like she was floating, her feet touching the ground, but her body didn't move like someone walking. She was too smooth, too silent. Then she stopped. Without turning, she spoke. Why are you following me, Mr. Kofi? My stomach twisted. She shouldn't have known I was there. I stepped forward. I just wanted to ask you something, madam. She didn't move. She swallowed hard. Where do you live? She finally turned. Her face was still beautiful, still perfect, but her eyes looked wrong, darker than usual, hungrier. I live where I belong, she said softly, and you should not be here. A sharp wind passed between us, carrying a smell that made my skin crawl like wet earth and something rotten underneath. Then, without another word, she walked into the forest. I watched I watched frozen as her figure melted into the trees, not disappeared, melted like she was never really there. I ran home. The next morning, Madame Ebeni was gone. The head teacher, the headmaster said she resigned. No one questioned it. No one wondered where she went. But I knew she had gone back to where she really came from. And I prayed she would never return.